How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of mystery beers, courtesy of my boy Steven. Always good for a couple of mystery beers. I always pop into these kind of bigger beers like this, and I always hope they're not going to be a stout. And I should have learned by now. Anyway, yeah, nice. Kind of the napkin you would get in high school to wipe your face with. That kind of hurts yourself a little bit. And yeah, that dissipated super quickly. Old beer, adjunct beer, barrel aged beer. That's what we're seeing here, because it had a head on it. Kind of looked like Coca-Cola vibes to it, but dissipated super quickly. And then it has this kind of barley wine, kind of blended barrel aged stout kind of thing. So it's not barley wine, but it just looks like it has a tinge more red to it than a base kind of stout. Let's get a nose. Chocolate, confectionery chocolate. So I'm thinking we're dealing with lactose milk stout here. I am peaking, and I'm cheating now because I peaked and I shouldn't have peaked. We're talking about almost exactly 2-year-old beer, and it has to have molasses in it because it says that on it. So it's a Treehouse beer. Man, why did I fucking peak? God damn it. I should have said it's an aged beer before I did that, because that's what I thought. So I don't really get much molasses out of that. I mean, what does it actually say in the bottom, just so you guys know if you didn't read it? The Great Molasses Flood of 1919. So you're talking about molasses, and you're talking about a 2-year-old beer. I'm guessing it's a Treehouse beer because they're kind of the people that write those kind of things on the bottom of their cans as opposed to just the date, especially that long ago. And it smells like an adjunct-laden stout, milk stout, lactose-based stout. It doesn't really come off heavy-handed. It's not like super kind of molasses in the actual taste, but it has this kind of slightly fudgy. For me, it's more of like a fudgy characteristic than like molasses. But it definitely has a little bit of age on it, a little bit of oxidation, but nothing that negative. But it doesn't come off as a huge beer either. It has that kind of rounded edginess to it that aged beer tends to have. Let's dive in. Cheers. I mean, that has aged pretty poorly. It has this weird kind of thinness to it. It tastes like a watered down brownie batter, spicy thing. Now, the blackstrap molasses is what's giving me that spicy component. So you get that kind of molasses component here. Here I'm assuming there's molasses in it, even though it just says it on the bottom. Who knows? But it does have this kind of spicy component that I would kind of associate with blackstrap molasses. It comes off super thin. So the time has done this. No help. At least 2 years has done it no help. And it just comes off really thin. But it has this kind of slightly fun kind of fudgy batter thing going on. So there has to be some kind of fudge... molasses fudge brownie malamoti kind of thing going on. I would still lean into a Treehouse beer, even with the bottom of the can kind of alluding to it be one of their beers, but the age has definitely done this thing dirty. So what is this? Try to peg an ABV without thinning it is very difficult. I want to go like low. I want to go like 6.8% fudge stout with molasses. Let's go there. Watch there be no molasses in it, and I just kind of stuck with that thing because it said it on there. So I don't know how I found that edge to actually rip that off. I don't think. Oh no, it is a Treehouse beer. Abstraction coffee. So there's coffee in this. It's not there anymore. It's an Imperial Porter, so it's 8.8. I went a little bit lower than what it is. They do the awesome brown on brown background, so I'm going to read this like a dum-dum. It says here, Abstraction Coffee is an Imperial Porter brewed with an array of chocolate, caramel, and roasted malts, and the flavor is functioning, complex, and carefully selected ingredients and precise brewing application paired with an extraordinary single-origin coffee, Abstraction Coffees. There is no blackstrap molasses in there. It has this bittering component. Maybe that's the coffee actually coming through there. I don't know, but it has this bittering component. Kind of makes sense because I didn't really talk to the sweetness of the beer other than the soft little lactose dose, which I assume is in here. But it has this kind of spicy bittering I kind of attributed to like the blackstrap molasses portion of the show. It didn't actually have a molasses kind of vibe to it. It just had that bittering component. So that bittering portion, whether it be the roasted malt or the coffee or in conjunction of the two, kind of held up. Yeah. Dumpster fire of a beer. I like the fact that I look now because I talked myself into it having molasses in it, and it did not. So I look all the part of a dum-dum. I don't need brown on brown lettering to make me look like a dum-dum. Anyway, so there you go. It was a weird mystery beer because I kind of spoiled up by looking at the bottom. I got to help myself not do those kind of things. What happens is, more often than not, these cans have nothing on the bottom, so I look at them and go, oh, no help there. But when there is, kind of screw stuff up. But like I said, didn't really do me any favors by looking at the bottom. So, yeah. Time did this dirty, being that it's 2 years old almost to the day. It's March 1st, and it was canned at the beginning of April in 2019, so definitely has seen its peak and gotten past it. And it's just one of these beers when you throw these kind of like even coffee as an adjunct in the beer can kind of help kind of beat that beer down, make it a little bit less than what it should be at its peak, and that's kind of what happened with this beer. Such is life. Such is mystery beers. So there you go. Is it one of the better coffee beers I've had as of late? No. Time has done that dirty. Value and availability. Treehouse beers. I don't know. $5 a can, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like aged beers that turn thin. I have no idea what this beer tastes like new, so we'll just skip that and go to, thank you very much, Steven. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massif. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing, want to send off mystery beers, you're more than welcome. MassiveBeers@gmail.com or Matt@massivebeers.com. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully enjoying some aged good beer. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.